Into the deep end now. Earlier this month, the U.S. celebrated National Police Week and National Corrections Week. Communities across the country took time to honor the people who serve in public safety and remember those who lost their lives in the line of duty. The Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission recently hosted a Peace Officers Memorial Ceremony in Burien, recognizing fallen officers and canines from around the state, while also reflecting on the challenges facing law enforcement and corrections professionals today. Steve's in the ARC Lounge now with the Interim Executive Director of the Commission, Jerrell Wills. Steve.
Yes, good to have you back once again.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
And you and I were just talking about some of these remembrances and weeks and ceremonies that are held throughout the year. Tyra mentioned some of them: National Corrections Week, Police Week, Peace Officers Memorial Day. Why is it important to hold these events, these ceremonies, and recognize the work of these fallen officers?
Well, I think, one, for our communities to have an opportunity to pay respect and honor those who are serving, who continue to serve, and those who have been lost as a result of their service.
And you and I were just talking about a particular case up in Everett that we're going to have more on the show tomorrow about. You know, sometimes the folks that die in the line of duty, for example, sometimes they're not remembered until decades or years later.
Right, right.
And that's why sometimes they're not always in chronological order when a particular department loses someone who's worked in law enforcement.
Right. And this is an opportunity, once we identify someone who had been forgotten, not only to acknowledge their sacrifice, but the sacrifice of their agency and, of course, their families.
Yes. That's also important to recognize,
yes,
too, because the families are part of that process. So talk to us about the Peace Officers Memorial Ceremony, and this was held on the Burien campus for the Commission.
Yes, absolutely.
What happens during that?
And so we have the opportunity to honor those fallen officers and correction officers, and we utilize all of our students who are on campus, and this sort of connects our students to the actual training and the future that they will embark upon as professionals. And so we're paying respect to those fallen, and then also tying in the significance of their training.
Okay, and canines are recognized too, is that right?
Yes, absolutely. And so too often people don't really see our canine officers, canine handlers and things like that, but our canines are put into some of the more precarious and dangerous situations, whether it be tracking someone or even drug sniffing, narcotics, but they also serve an important role as a rescue asset as well. But they're a part of the canine officers' families, and so they're connected to their families and their children as they go off to work each and every day.
And can help solve crimes too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, when you think in terms of tracking, whether it be in a major crime investigation or just tracking someone who is attempting to elude law enforcement.
You talked about, you know, when recruits are going through the process of trying to become a law enforcement officer and the training and that sort of thing, for them to see that ceremony or that memorial, why is it important for them to see that in person and sort of take that in?
I think it puts in perspective their role in our communities and how their training is connected to that, to their communications, all the things that they're learning on de-escalation, but ultimately every day they walk past the pictures of fallen officers, and I think in some ways it just becomes a part of the landscape on campus, but to come back and recognize those fallen officers, canine officers, puts it in perspective that this is a position it's a noble position, but it's bigger than themselves. And so they need to make sure that they're working on their resiliency and their wellness, as well as their skills for communication and de-escalation.
An important reminder of why officers take that oath and what that oath means.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, you're taking an oath to serve your community, and you have to take that very seriously.
We talk a lot on this show, and when the commission comes on about the training process that officers and recruits go through. How is that training commission, the one that you serve, preparing officers and correction professionals for the realities of public safety today? And we talk all the time about the changes that the industry has been experiencing over the past couple of years. Talk about how the commission plays into all that.
Yeah, and it's about our expectations from our communities. Our communities communities really expect us and our officers, our new officers, to be able to communicate, be effective communicators, make sound decisions in the heat of the moment. And so part of that is, again, getting back to communications, our violence de-escalation, slowing things down, slowing the pace of a traumatic or chaotic event down so that they have an opportunity to communicate with the people they're trying to engage.
Any message that you want to leave maybe potential officers or recruits with this morning about what they can experience on the job and how it's sort of changing at this moment in time?
Yeah, I think it's to ensure that they understand the expectations of our communities. This is still an incredibly noble public servant position, but that the badge doesn't entitle you to anything more than your service to your communities. And you have to always think in terms of how can I serve my community better, respectfully, with equity and respect. And really that's the ultimate goal and objective of our communities, is to ensure that we never lose sight of that.
One level of service, an important level of service, for
yes,
sure.
Absolutely.
Good to see you once again.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you.
Very noble profession that a lot of people take that oath to serve in many communities across Western Washington.
Yeah, and we thank those who've certainly given their lives and are still
Absolutely.
and still are, to serve our communities. Thanks, Steve.